Last year in 2025, we generated over 150 high-ticket verified paying clients for our customers, all through one single lead generation method. Now, in this video, I'm not just going to talk about that one method, but I'm going to stack it up and show you 8 other very popular methods of generating leads for your B2B company so that you can go ahead and make an informed decision by yourself on which one you should put the most time and energy and resources into. I'm going to rank it, so let's take a look at this screen right here. Basically, the way that this works is there's S, A, B, C, and D. S being the best, D being the worst. Then here are all the other options of generating leads. So let me walk you through kind of how it looks, and I'll give you pros and cons of each and which one kind of would work for. So first things first, LinkedIn outreach. Now, the pros of LinkedIn outreach is if you have a good personal brand and if you have good social presence with your company and with yourself, it's great, right? If people see you on the timeline, they got a DM or a connection request, they're going to want to talk to you, especially if they see you as an authority figure. It's great. The downsides, which I would debate that there's more downsides than upsides, is LinkedIn outreach, there's connection request limits. So I believe it's like 150 or 300 if you pay extra, which obviously limits the scalability of the system that you can have. So you can either have more accounts, but for that you need obviously more team members and stuff like that and more content going out, or you can pay more, but it's capped either way. So there is a limit as to how much you can do. So for example, with cold email, you can do either 100 or you can do 10,000 emails a day, right? It doesn't matter. You can do however much you like. With LinkedIn, it's a little different. Also, LinkedIn has become a lot more saturated over the past few years. When I first started out like 3-4 years ago, it was a different game, right? There was less people pitching you on LinkedIn. Now, I guarantee you, if you open your LinkedIn right now, there's going to be someone trying to pitch you in the first like 2 or 3 DMs that you have. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a B. It does work if you have a relevant market and if you have kind of like a good personal brand on there. But like I said, it's just so competitive nowadays. And also there's so many DMs going around. So I give it a B. It's not the best, not the worst. Next are networking events. So networking events are popular for like industry specific events. So for example, early last month, there was Funnel Hacking Live from ClickFunnels in Las Vegas. So we went there. It was a great time. A lot of very high level entrepreneurs and business people. However, I wasn't going to the event with the expectation of closing X amount of deals or generating X amount of sales calls. Networking events are to network, not to generate leads, in my opinion. Now, obviously, if people are interested in what we do, more than happy to show them. But it wasn't like every day I was going there and trying to just pitch as many people. I was just trying to make connections and kind of make friends with people. And eventually, if in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, people, remember me and they want to learn more, then we can go from there. It's much like a longer term thing, in my opinion. Like I said, I mean, we did have sales calls from Funnel Hacking Live, but it wasn't like we came there with the intention of it. It was more of like a learning that we came with the intention of. So that's networking events. Honestly, I would give it a solid C at best. Networking events are to learn and to meet people, not necessarily to close deals. So yeah, also like they're expensive, right? Compared to other things like the tickets to get in, the admission tickets, hotels, flights, food, like everything kind of goes in. Like we were in Vegas for like 4 or 5 days. So you have to factor that in as well. Next is cold calling. Cold calling is a very direct response type of thing. You literally just call these people right away. You get them on the line, you talk to them right away. The one thing is, it's not the most scalable solution, right? So you as a business owner or as a manager of sales, stuff like that, will eventually have too much on your plate to sit there for a few days or a few hours every day and cold call people. So it's not the most scalable unless you hire people, and that's obviously extra cost and stuff like that. If you want to have a good cold caller, you're going to have to spend a few grand a month on that. Train them up. Obviously, that's a lot of time on your side, not to mention the software, tracking, stuff like that, and the data. So it's very effective, not the most scalable solution. I would give it a B. Like I said, not the best, not the worst. This is how I got my first few clients. I literally had a list of a few thousand people. I called 20 people. On the 20th try, the person picked up. His name was Chad. I remember like it was yesterday. He was like, okay, let's get on a call. And 10 days later, he was a paying client, granted for like $200 a month, but he was my first paying client, which was great. So cold calling definitely works for all scopes of services. It's just not the most scalable solution because you have to be there manually. And I'm not going to talk about like AI cold calling because I don't think it's there just yet, but just normal cold calling, I'd give it a B. Number 4 is SEO, search engine optimization. Very long process that will eventually give you a good amount of leads once you rank for the right terms. For the right keywords, I should say, actually. It is very strong once you have it. I recommend using SEO as a benefit to something else. So for example, if you're cold calling and you have SEO, like for your own company name at the bare minimum, so that when people search you up, they have information on you, your company, your past achievements, your LinkedIn automatically shows up, stuff like that. But in terms of like actual SEO to generate leads, it takes a long time, a lot of effort, a lot of content, like blog posts, articles, stuff like that you need to push out, and building backlinks, which to be honest is not the most direct response way of doing things. Now, I have a lot of friends who do SEO. I would say that for a majority of them, it works well. It takes a long time. That's the main thing I'm going to say. For that reason, I'm going to give it a solid C. Not the biggest fan, but it still can generate results if you do it for long enough. I'm talking like 6 to 18, 24 months. Next are referrals. Referrals are great, right? Once you get them, they are very easy people to close simply because they know, like, and trust you already based off of other people that you've already worked with. So they have that like third-party validation right away. Also, like, for a fact that they're looking for the service. So they're good when you have them. The thing is, they're not consistent. They're not reliable unless you have like hundreds and thousands of clients that people will just send you every day. You can't truly rely on them because you don't know when they're going to come. Right, so for that reason, I'll give it a C at best. When they're there, they're great. But the thing is, like, no matter how good of an agency owner is, you can't predict when you're going to get a referral. The good thing about them is that they're basically free. So that's another good thing. Next is paid ads. Paid ads are one of the most scalable solutions. Big companies run paid ads because they work. They will always work if you have a good offer. Now, the thing is, there are rising ad costs. So it is a bit different. But you do need a decent amount of startup capital to make ads work. So that's why I give it a solid A. Honestly, one of the more reliable and scalable systems that you can have for lead gen for a wide range of companies and offers. Anything from like a $15 per month low ticket SaaS all the way to like a multi 5-figure service or consulting package. So it can work for all walks of services and is definitely one of the more scalable solutions. Next is content creation. So content creation is one of the biggest things that I recommend people do when they are starting out, especially if they have a longer time horizon and kind of a longer thinking. The one downside of this is that with content creation, you need to invest a lot of time to make good content that is useful. The good content takes up like 90% of the attention. At least this is what I've seen. Now, like, if you make a good video, you get almost a majority of the attention that's going to rank for that keyword. If you make bad content, you're not going to get any attention. So you need to focus on making good content. And the thing with this is that it's evergreen. So if you make a good video, for example, I still get views from a video that I made literally over a year ago. I believe it's like clay workflows or like unlimited leads, something like that. You could check it out. But I still get leads from it to this day just because it's a good video, it's useful. But the thing is that it does take some time to kind of crack, especially if you're just starting out with your market or if you don't understand it fully. So I'll give it an A on par with paid ads, because it's one of the better ways, in my opinion, of doing it. Next and lastly is cold email. Now, if you haven't noticed by now, I run a cold email agency. So all of those clients that we generated for those companies came directly from cold email. All these other ones we didn't use for those. It was all cold email. So I am a little bit biased, but it's for a good reason because we actually use it. And that's what gets all of our client results. So I'm going to give it an S. Let me start with the cons. The cons of cold email, to be honest, the only cons of cold email is that there are a little more saturation. Just being honest with you, more and more people are sending cold emails, which in my opinion will go down in a bit just because the email service providers are making it harder to send cold emails. There is a bit of a tech game nowadays where you need to have the right email infrastructure and the right data structure. But other than that, cold email is all pros from my point of view, and at least for our clients. So the pros, you can target literally anyone you want. Any industry that has an email attached to their LinkedIn or to their company name, you're able to target, right? So you're able to get very specific or very broad. You're able to send as much volume or as little volume as you want. You can control the message in its entirety. You can control everything. And it's super scalable because once you see a message and a market that's working, you're able to make that message market fit and just scale it up 10x, right? Same thing with ads, right? You can just scale the message that's working. It's the same thing with cold email. So for that reason, I think cold email is the best B2B lead generation strategy. Just based off of what we've seen, like I said, our clients close over 150 verified high ticket paying clients in 1 year alone. Now, that's all from cold email. No networking, SEO, referral, nothing like that. All from cold email. So that's that. If you did find this video valuable and you found this checklist kind of valuable for you so that you can make a decision on which one you're going to use for your company, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you're interested in experts implementing cold email into your business, book a discovery call below. There's a description and there's going to be a link there for you to check it out. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this valuable and I'll see you in the next video.